Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Poedagar 924. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm still wearing a Bertucci DX3 with the Enzo dial. And Grogu is wearing my Skimmy 2100. Grogu said that the Mos Eisley Cantina band just released a new hit song. It's about the time Jabba the Hutt's gang went to war with the Mos Eisley police for control of the city. It's called The Night Mos Eisley Died. Take a look at the watch. It comes in this simple box. The box didn't have any fitted foam. It just had this little strip of foam and a little tiny cleaning cloth. It did come with a pretty nice sizing tool. And here it is. This is the second Poedagar on my channel, but I've unboxed a few more, so there are more Poedagars to come. I've been picking them up because they are dirt cheap in price, and ultra affordable watches have been doing quite well for me. My first Poedagar review has hit 1,000 views in a short time, which isn't bad for my channel. This is an homage to an AP Royal Oak, which cost a ludicrous amount of money. I paid $17 for this Poedagar, which is significantly less. I would say you might be able to find it even cheaper during the current AliExpress sale, but when I started preparing for this review, I couldn't find it at all, which kind of sucks for me because I like to review watches that you can actually buy. Fortunately, at the time of this review, it is available again, and you can get it for about $16 after coupons. You can also get a blue dial or a white dial. There is also a steel-colored case and bracelet. There is also an all-black version. I chose the black dial with rose gold, even though I prefer blue, but I think blue looks better with yellow gold. The watch is 42 millimeters if you measure at the flats of the bezel. 52.3 millimeters lug to lug. It's 10.8 millimeters thick. And the lug width does not apply, but it's 26 millimeters where the bracelet meets the case, and weighs 130 grams on the supplied bracelet with 3 links removed. The bezel is your Royal Oak style octagon with vertical brushing, and as you can see, these little screws here are just engraved. They're not real screws. And then we have the polished sides. Then the dial, we have the waffle pattern of a typical Royal Oak, and it looks pretty nice for a cheap watch. Then we have the Poedagar name and logo up top. And then it says Poedagar design on the bottom. So nothing about the movement or anything. Then we have baton indices, and they are loomed, but the loom is not very good. And we got a double baton at the 12. Then we have just stick hands that are loomed, and the second hand is not. And the second hand hits the marks mostly. There's a few places in the watch where it misses, but for the most part it does hit the marks. And the few places where it does miss, it doesn't miss by a lot. So that's pretty good anyway. So it's not going to set off your quartz movement OCD if you have that. Then we have a date at the 3, and it sees they do not replace it with. They do not replace the index with the date. They just make the index a little short. It would have been nice if the date was color matched, but this is a $17 watch, so that's not going to happen. Then we have the crown. The crown is a hexagon, which is rare for these Royal Oak homages. Most of them have round crowns, so it's nice to see a hexagon. That's a good touch. Let's check out the crown action. Doesn't feel loosey-goosey, but will it jump when you set it? Well, that was from just, let's see if I hold it when I press it in. All right. You have to hold it when you press it in and it won't jump. But if you just press it in without holding it, it's loose enough where it can move on you. Then we have a flat mineral glass crystal. You're not going to get sapphire at this price. And then we have the case. The ad says stainless steel, and I don't know if it is or not. I mean, obviously this is plated because steel isn't this color. So why would they plate steel when they can just plate an alloy instead? I don't know. One thing though, if you look at the silver one, somebody left a review on AliExpress, and I'll show you the picture right now. As you can see, the color of the steel one is quite different than the bracelet, so that kind of gives me an indication that it's plated and not solid stainless steel. But this is $17 watch, and it does, I mean, the case is good. I like the case. It's one of the, I would say, the highlights of the watch. So I'm not saying it's junk if it isn't steel. Then we have the case back. The case back is just a press-on because you only get 30 meters of water resistance. It does say stainless steel back. So yeah, that's a pretty good tell that the case is not, because otherwise it would say all stainless steel. And it has the Poedagar name and logo. Then I don't know the movement. It's quartz, and it doesn't have a horrible jump. So, and the second hand seems to line up, so it's going to be good enough for the money. Then we have the bracelet. The bracelet is hollow. You can tell it's hollow. It feels really light. And there's significant rattle to the bracelet. When you wear it, you can hear the bracelet rattle. So it's kind of loose. As you can see too, these links here, they're one piece. They're not individual links. So it's not like a true Royal Oak bracelet. Then we have a butterfly clasp, and it's bi-directional, not unidirectional, because it doesn't have the little square there, so you can close it in any way. And it is a push button, not friction. So it's good enough for what you're doing. And it has push pins, not screw pins. You're usually not going to get screw pins at this price. I prefer push pins anyway. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. It's a big watch, so I can barely pull it off. And I had to remove 3 links to fit, so you should be able to wear this if you have 8 1/4. But it looks nice. I mean, considering the price, I like it. I think if you were somebody across the room might think you're wearing a real Royal Oak, but as soon as they got close, they'd probably figure it out. But yeah, I guess, I don't know. Can you hear the rattle? Here we are in the loom room. Just wearing the watch, I couldn't tell if it even had loom, so I'm not expecting much from this test. As we speed up the time, the indices fade almost immediately. The hands are not much better. This is very bad loom. What do I like about this watch? Well, I do like the case. I think the case is well done. It looks nice. Has this little polished chamfered edge. And it's fairly thin if you don't count the bezel. And I like this waffle dial. I think it looks nice. And I like the fact that it has a hexagon crown. A lot of these Royal Oak homages don't. What are my grapes and groans? There's some bracelet rattle. The loom is just horrible. And I don't know, this hollow bracelet feels cheap. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. Yeah, it's not a great watch, but for the money, it looks and wears decent enough. It's worth the $16 you'll pay for it, or even $17 if it's not on sale. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Poedagar 924. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Leave some comments to feed the algorithm, and maybe I'll get more views. And maybe if I get more views, people will actually start sending me watches to review. And I won't have to buy them, and then I can keep this channel going. Bye.